just be a good person. You need to treat people with respect. And that's probably my one non-negotiable in terms of, yep, you do you be unique, but you, no matter how good you are or you're the first picked or the last picked, have respect for people, treat people with respect, and value everyone's contribution.
Yeah. Do you kind of that respect thing when someone, like, let's say we're playing on the same team and I gave you some, here at the moment might be something that you might perceive was disrespect, like in terms of I was just giving you a feedback, is like, get to this line, get this play, we want you to be better.
Yep.
Something like that, but you kind of perceived it in a different way. Is that kind of something that comes up a bit in women's hockey?
We've been having this conversation for like 3 years as a group.
Really?
As to how to deliver feedback, how to receive feedback, how to then debrief feedback.
Correct.
Because there's always going to be two opinions. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and everyone's opinion is right on a hockey field because we all see it differently. So how do I deliver the feedback to you? How do you receive the feedback, and how do we constructively move forward? Sometimes we're not going to agree, and that is okay. But in that moment, we can't not agree and I go throw my stick or walk off the field. We have to agree and get on with the job. So for us, we've got to the point where feedback on the field, it will be direct. At times, it'll come across. Sometimes it can be out of line, so we've also got to pull people up when it is out of line, but that is done afterwards. At the end of the day, feedback on the field, communication on the field should be delivered in a way that's better for making everyone better. And then post the game, it's me coming up to you and going, and I happened at training this morning, someone said something to me and I just like had a moment and just froze, and I went up to her and she didn't even notice I froze. And I said to her, I was like, oh, really sorry for like kind of death staring you back. She's like, I didn't even notice. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that's good. That's fine. And so, just having that ability to approach someone and have that conversation and just to touch base and, clear the air if needed.
Yeah.
Because I think if you let it fester, especially I don't like to separate men and women, but especially in a female setting, if you let something fester, if you let it boil over, it just gets out of control. You're better off dealing with it then and there. It might be an awkward conversation. It might be a hard conversation. You might not get an answer from it, but at least the communication channels stay open, because as soon as someone's communication channel shut down, receiver or 100%. Giver, you're done for.
Yeah, I've seen it multiple times, not just here, but back in Adelaide. As soon as someone shuts down, it just crumbles from within, doesn't it? Like it goes south quick.
Yeah.
Everyone gets lost.
Yeah. Yeah, people second guess their decisions and speaking up.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden that doesn't create a good culture. It's so detrimental. Everyone deserves the right to have their voice in any setting. Everyone deserves to be listened to and respected. You don't have to agree with them every single time, but we have to provide people the chance to express their opinion and their thoughts and not be dismissed.
In terms of the culture, how has that kind of shaped over your time?
It's changed a lot. Yeah. If you followed, I guess, the Hockey Roos recently, we haven't, as I touched on before, we have a new coach, and there's been a fair bit of drama kind of on the external in the last couple of months and year or so. But as a group right now, we are in an incredible spot, and I'm so proud of the group for the resilience that they've shown, the growth that they've shown. This is me included, all of us. And it's been a pretty tough last kind of 6 to 12 months. I mean, COVID, yes, but among many other things. And the fact of how close the group has become, the fact that people are getting to know other athletes better than just as a teammate. You're not going to love everyone. You're not going to be your best friend, but, you need to respect them and get along with them. I'm incredibly proud of the hard conversations we've had, the endless meetings we've had to sit through. But the positive change that has happened and that has occurred. There's laughter at training. There's people positively joking around. There's people are relaxed. People are enjoying being there. And at the end of the day, if you enjoy what you're doing, you're going to be so much better for it at the end of the day. So, we had to go through a fair amount of crap, and it's been awful to get through. But we're starting to come out the other side, and I guess I don't think there'll be many internationals listening to this, so probably can say what I want here is that I think other countries around the world have written us off as a hockey ruse. Okay. They've seen the media, they've seen some of the decisions that have been made, and they go, well, there's no chance those group can win. And I honestly think Aussies perform their best when they're an underdog, and right now we're an underdog, and as a group we can't wait to take it to the world stage and show them how hard we've been working, and how close we've come together as a group. And whilst not necessarily the group has been fractured, but there has been divisions in the past, as there is in any group. There's always going to be divisions. There's always going to be, tough conversations. Right now, we're united, and I'm so bloody proud of the group, and the steps they've taken forward.
That's good. It's good to hear that the culture's on the way up and it's getting better, because I think the general public likes to think that Australian sport is going to do well when we compete. We're competitive.
Yep.
I think there's been a history of success in the hockey Roos and then the Kookaburras as well. And
last Rio, none of us, or neither the hockey Roos or the Kookaburras, made the quarterfinals. So that was in the paper or in the media, that was a disaster. I don't think that had happened in years beforehand. I think there's a redemption story, but we also have that belief in ourselves as a group, that we know what we have to do to get past that stage. But again, at this stage, it's cliche, but just taking it kind of, step by step.
Right.
And as it comes, and proud to and excited to show the Australian public and the rest of the world what we've got.
So were you in the squad after Rio?
No, I didn't make it. I debuted at the end of 2018 and then made the squad in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was want to know if there was anything that was said after that kind of was like how to deal with the negative press.
Yeah, not sure. Not sure exactly. It's really interesting reflecting back, because I obviously was in Australia when they performed not as well as they would have hoped, and to see the press, it was really horrific, because people... the Olympics comes around and hockey gets a profile, gets a name. We're huge. And then see the Australian public hate on the group that 20 years earlier they had labelled the Golden Girls, because they'd won in 96 and 2000. That's the same public. They're the same people that have done that. And, I think that was really sad to see the reaction that, there's people, and not to have a crack at people sitting on their couch watching the Olympics, but... you're not out there competing. You haven't sacrificed or made all these good decisions in your life to get to where, those girls had got to. I just think that as a population, if I don't go to the Olympics, I want to support that group that goes, and whether they win every single game or they don't win a game, I'm going to be there to back them up and to say that, that was the, they did everything they possibly could to perform as well as they could.
I think that a lot of it gets lost. The media kind of, they put out the result of the game, but they don't know how much work and, all those meetings.
The swimmers, for example, swimmers win a silver medal and it's a failure. It makes, and I think I understand it more and more these days. It makes me really sad. That's an incredible achievement that person, yes, they didn't win gold.
Second best there.
Yeah, literally at that point in time, they're the second best. They win a bronze medal, failure. They win a gold medal and it's still sometimes not good enough. It's they can't get any higher than a gold medal unless they get a world record. You know what I mean? Those kind of bits and pieces that I just go, I would love, rather than pulling ourselves down, which we do so well as Australians, let's build each other up. Let's support each other. Because then when someone does come home with a medal, they all want to celebrate. They want to go and get a photo with that person, whether it's male or female. But then if they don't perform the next Olympics, they're going to pull them straight down. And I just don't think that's fair. We're not paid millions of dollars. We basically finish our career broke. So
that's what kind of interests me a little bit as well, because you sacrifice so much, and it's for a gold medal.
Yeah, which comes with nothing. Not that you'd ever sell a medal or burn it down to gold, but you know what I mean. We don't get any extra typically endorsements from it. We barely struggle to make it week by week, day by day. I'm not living in Cottesloe in a $2 million house. I'm struggling to pay rent every week.
Yeah, it's just so fascinating because it's almost like a government, it's like a power. It's a country versus country. How many gold medals did your country have? All this sort of stuff. It's a bit of a power. But the athletes who win the medals don't really get recognised. It's like a country. The government gets, all this sort of money. It's almost backwards.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard. It's hard to kind of perceive because you look at other sports like basketball, golf. The individual gets the money, and you play a good game of football. If you're you might be a well performing player, and you might get bonuses and this sort of stuff as well. But at Olympic, where it's bigger than almost every other sport. Like, it's, the Olympics, for everything is almost bigger, like swimming. You don't really hear much in between what happens. Hockey, you don't hear much. Name all the athletics, you don't hear any of that during the year.